that
I'm dreaming of. If you need me, you know where I'll be. I'll be riding shotgun underneath the hot sun, feeling like a someone. I'll be riding shotgun underneath the hot sun, feeling like a someone. We got two in the front, two in the back. Know where I'll be riding shotgun underneath the hot sun, feeling like a someone. I'll be riding shotgun underneath the hot sun, feeling like a someone. We're south of the equator, navigator. Gotta hit the road, gotta hit the road.
In with Dano's team, Threat Level Midnight. Are you an Office fan?
no.
That's from The Office. Michael Scott. Threat Level Midnight. First, give me your initial thoughts, and then we'll break it down.
So initial thoughts right off the bat, I think Daniel did one of the best drafts you could possibly have.
One of the best drafts.
Yeah, you cannot. This is an unbelievable draft. Much better than he did last year.
Wow.
2 years ago with one hit. One hit was a disaster. He was drafting guys. He drafted Eddie Michon in the 5th. He drafted Albert Kamal in the 2nd round. Or the early 3rd, where Albert Kamal in his prime, that's where he went in his prime. He was off his 6-7 years. It was not a good pick, and it was in a loaded draft. So he made some terrible picks that year, rebounded tremendously with this team. This team looks really, really good, and we'll get into it. But I like this team a lot. And
Okay,
it all
so
starts.
Where does it start? I think it all starts and ends there, because he took John, by the way, going back to what you said, he took John over Mark, and those guys are friends, and, they work together, they see each other all the time.
So,
he went John over Mark. What do you think of that?
So I like John. I think John's a better player than Mark. I like John. I think John's the better player. I think he's the better pick. I like John. I'm a big
And then
fan
he
of John.
also went with Joe G. Right after Salou was taken, he took Joe G over all the center fielders in the draft this year. And we had some of the best center fielders that this league has ever seen. We had them all in this draft this year.
Great pick. Obviously, Joe G's a great player. Harari. Let me get to Harari.
Okay.
Harari is the steal of the draft.
Wow.
He's the real deal. The guy is unbelievable. He's by far ranked number 4 after A.B. Saka, after Maxi Deed, after
Nate B. You're forgetting about someone named Nate B, maybe?
Nate B. Harari's number 4. This kid has it all. He has the personality. He has the speed. Throws hard. He throws with control. He knows, to throw in and out. Certain hitters he knows not to throw away. Certain hitters he knows to pound inside. He won a championship in the night league. He went 10-0 with that team. 10-0. And they won the whole thing. His other pitcher that was pitching with him, you could see clearly when he was on the mound, they were going to win. And without him, it was a toss-up.
What do you say to people that say that he throws the same pitch every time, and in this league, that's not going to work?
He throws hard enough where the hitters are going to have a hard time. I faced Eddie Harari. He was one of the toughest guys I've had to face. A.B. Saka, he's great, but it is, maybe I see him so much, so it's not as difficult. I see him a lot, so maybe the familiarity is different. Also, A.B.'s a lefty, so he comes in this way.
Mm-hmm.
Nate B's obviously difficult. Maxi Deed, he's difficult to hit, but he's not going to wow you. Obviously, he's great. But Eddie Harari was, for me, for some reason, he was very, very tough to hit. It's just, he hides the ball well. I don't know what it is, but he's very, very deceptive. And he is the real deal. There's no question marks. He's the real deal.
Well, if he's the real deal, this team is a championship team, because there's no other question anywhere. We'll talk about some of the maybe iffy questions, but I love the pick of Lee over here. It gives him a great bat with Joe G and John. And then he followed that up with the pick of Buka, which I thought was brilliant. I really, really like the pick of Buka. He didn't play last year. Lee's coming off 2 down years. He's not played well. 2 years in a row, he has not played as well as he could. I love Lee. He's one of my best friends. I think this year he's been working all off season. and I really think he's going to come back to the player that he really was offensively and defensively for Lee Z.
100% agree. I didn't know Lee Z had a down year with the Maccabees. Obviously, last year he had a very, very down year. He'd be the first one to admit it. He was not Lee Z, not even close. But he's a champion. Lee Z's a champion. He's a great player. He's been a great player his whole career. He's playing in the league probably 15 or 16 years. He had 1 or 2 bad years. He's going to definitely bounce back. I definitely think he's going to bounce back. And I agree with you. He's going to have a great year.
Okay. I like the pick also of Edmund at first. Edmund has a better glove than most people think. I remember when he played with you 2 years ago, he had a couple of scoops for Philadelphia on that team. The truth is, the next biggest question is if Dano himself can handle third base. He lost the position last year, and this year he picked himself and putting himself at third. There's no other third baseman here, really.
Very happy Daniel's put at third. He could handle third. Played with them on the Orioles. He was a champion. The guy was unbelievable. In the World Series, he's a little shaky. He even admitted, he goes, I'm a little nervous right now. And the guy showed it. He was nervous. And he didn't play as great. But in the regular season, he didn't miss a play. He was unbelievable. The guy is not a question mark here. Rip this off.
Rip that off, okay.
The guy is the real deal at third. He's awesome. I hated last year how he wasn't on third.
Me too.
I hated it. I didn't like him behind the plate. He lost his mojo. He's usually yelling at third. I hated it.
I think a lot of it has to do with who was on his team, which is Marshama. A lot of third basemen don't play well next to Moshama, which is crazy because, you know, we have great shortstops in this league. There's a guy that has to play next to Z. There's a guy that has to play next to John and all these guys. But Moshama, I guess, has that legendary status where people really don't play well at third next to him. And he also had his boy Nabi on the mound barking. So maybe...
I mean, Sammy S is obviously he can play third. He's a good third baseman. You know, him and Daniel, you're splitting hairs defensively. I don't know who, but I know Daniel. I played with Daniel a full year. I would definitely be more trustworthy with Daniel, so I'm surprised they did that. But anyway, Edmund, I want to get to Edmund. Edmund's tremendous fielder. He's a veteran, smart player, and his bat isn't what it was. And he's been working on it, and he's trying to get it back, but it's just not what it was. I don't know what it is. He's not pulling the ball to right anymore. He used to hit bombs to right. I played with him my whole life as a kid. Bombs to right, and then he'd shoot one to left. And now he's just only shooting to left, or grounding the ball to second base. Once he starts to get that power swing back, and if he starts to hit like the way he used to, this team's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Well, Dano has upside guys. Like Edmund, like you said, if he starts to hit, it's a bonus. If Harari's as good as you're saying, I mean, that's
Real
scary.
deal.
I haven't heard anyone as up on Harari as you are, tell you the truth. Everyone says, yeah, he went 10-0 in the night league, but will that translate? And he pitches to the same side of the plate every single time. He does scared to go outside. He only pitches inside every time. That's not going to work past game one in this league, to tell you the truth. So I have a big question mark on Harari. But if he's, let's say, 60% of what you're saying he is, then this team's a championship team. What about the personalities here? We have Ishak. We have Joe G. We have John. We have Buka, who's not so shy either. We have Dano. This guy's got some confidence also. I mean, you have... Is this going to mesh, and can he make it mesh?
And Edmund also likes to talk.
Okay. And by the way,
likes to talk too.
Lee Z likes to scream once in a while also.
But listen, these are all very intense guys. John is ridiculously intense. Ishak, forget about it. The guy can't sleep before the game.
Right.
And he's tremendous. Lee Z, the guy doesn't even smile on the field. He's into it more than anyone. Joe G's an animal. Daniel, Lieutenant Dan, we call him.
Lieutenant Dan.
Buka's, why'd you circle him?
I don't know. I was in a circling
You will not hear a word from Buka. He will not. He doesn't talk. He's
what about
very quiet. Great kid.
Canadian
Buka's one of my favorite players, by the way. So I played with him last year. He's tremendous, great hitter. He's got to fix his pop-ups, which he will. But
you ever play in the same team as your father?
Yes.
You did. How'd that work?
One
for you?
time.
Was it good? Was it pressure? What was it?
Personally, I don't like playing with my dad.
Because he's playing with his dad this year. It might have more
Yeah.
pressure. Who knows?
It's a little different. Me and my dad were playing in the outfield together. He'd be pushing, go, go.
Right.
I just don't want to hear. I don't really like hearing that, so I never liked it. I played with him in 2007, my rookie year. We are family, most legendary team, and we'll get to it because Michael Beta was on that team.
Wow.
That was the first time he was. That's the last time he's played in this league. Was that team?
Wow. That's a long time ago.
My 15 years. This is going to be the 15th year. So.
Okay.
Michael Bate. So that team, yeah. So I don't really. You know, for them, it's going to be great though. Buka and him, it's much different than me and my dad when we were playing. So this is going to be really, really good. You know, it's a good combo. Roditi, this is one of my favorite players. I wanted him draft day. We didn't get him. Great player, great pick. One of the best athletes, probably the best athlete in the league. Out of the 96 players, he's probably the best athlete. He's a freak of nature. Big fan of him. He's got power. And one of the best things about Roditi is they have to play him here because he has crazy power to right. And when he hits a single here, he's fast enough where this guy's so far, it's gonna be a double. So he has the Michael Beta effect.
Wow.
Playing deep, and he's a threat. Now he has to hit those singles. He hits, you know, he's been hitting 300 and stuff like that, but he's a threat. I like him a lot.
Okay, any concern at all, Joe G coming off an injury? No concern there. John is great, we all know that. What are we expecting from Ishak this year? He was upset with where he was drafted.
This guy's wild. Great guy. I played with him. He wears his emotions on his sleeve.
Yeah.
And he's very he's a positive guy. He likes to talk a lot. He's not a detriment at all to a team. He's
Right.
the opposite. It's like a Maurice Haber type.
Yeah.
For his team, you know. Great guy, good player, really good player. He's a very nice glove. With these three, these four. This is a perfect infield. You can't get better.
I mean, so JT, what's your grade for this team? Bottom line.
This is an A.
A.
It's an
Dano. Dano, who you said on the Baltimore Chop can't draft the team. He will struggle in the draft. You're giving him an A.
So I was right because the one hit team was probably the worst drafted team in history. But this team is the opposite. This team is tremendous. So
okay.
He did rebound. Maybe Joji helped him. I don't know. Maybe John helped him. I don't know. Leezy, we know didn't help him. They said he was on the slopes.
Yeah, Leezy was on the slopes, didn't help him.
So
and I got to give credit to Dano for this reason.
It could be old Dano, but how much?
But you know what? Dano's mistake with one hit was going with too much of his friends. This time, he took John over Mark. He took Roditi over DK. That's his best friend.
And Bub.
And Bub. And whoever.
I think, no.
I
Bub
think
was
so.
before.
I don't know. But
Bub
the
was
bottom
before.
line is DK was still around when he took Roditi, I believe. And he went with Roditi. He went with that outfield. No, DK was around when he took Ishak. So he went with someone who he's not close with over his best friend. He had enough of the abuse that he took after Baltimore, and he wants to draft the championship team. You're saying he has a chance.
It's a perfect team. So how I like to grade teams is three things. There's three things. I don't even go chemistry. There's three things: offense, defense, and pitching. Those are the three keys.
Okay.
Okay. And I think you should have this on every single one.
Okay, we will.
They have an offense. That's for sure. They have one hitter, two hitters, three hitters, four hitters. Still good enough. Ishak's a solid hitter. Roditi's a solid hitter. Edmonds a solid hitter. They have four big guys, and then they have a couple of medium guys. Good enough offense. That's a check.
Okay.
They have the defense, obviously. And by the way, this could switch. I can see Roditi playing left, Buka playing right.
I cannot see that, and I'm surprised you're thinking he could switch. That's very interesting.
I
would not even. I assume he's a right fielder and he's a left fielder, but okay.
It is. Roditi usually plays right. I played with Buka last year in left. He was a little shaky, but he could definitely do it. He could do it. He's got a great arm, but I could see that switch. But whatever, it's just something small.
So you're giving the defense a check.
They have the defense and they have the pitching. This is more like a half. It's not like a Maxi D, Navy Saka, Navy where you get the full check, but it's like a half to check. So it's like a 2.5, 3. So
they're doing good enough to.
Yes.
Okay. I think that their offense is there for exactly the reason you hinted on. They have four big boppers, but no automatic outs. Edmund gets up there, he could wreck a game. Roditi gets up, he could wreck a game. Ishak gets up, he could get a hit at any point in time. So there's no automatic outs over here on top of the four big bats. And by the way, Dano's not an automatic out.
No.
Nobody's an automatic out.
Gindi, great catcher to have. Guy's a great kid, and he's also athletic, and he runs well. He can pinch run. and he's valuable. He's a good player. Buka's going to be able to hit. He's going to hit. He's definitely going to hit. He's a legend in this league. Welcome back, Buka.
For those that don't know Buka, how good he was, him and his brother Jason were both phenomenal. Birdman can run for anybody. Also, he's speeding fast. He's also not an automatic out, the Birdman. He can also fill in if they're short-handed in the field
Absolutely.
as well.
Good bench. I like their bench. I'm also a big bench guy. It's a nice bench. Good enough bench for sure.
Okay.
Speed, little power to right, veteran situational hitter, good running, good defense. They have it all.
Okay. Let's get on to our next team, JT. So let's erase this. Did they not give me an eraser with this beautiful whiteboard? They did not. I'm going to go get something so we can erase this. And we'll be back with the next team. JT, great job.
You know where I'll be riding shotgun underneath the hot sun, feeling like a someone. I'll be riding shotgun underneath the hot sun, feeling like a someone. We're south of the equator, navigator, gotta hit the road, gotta hit the road.